Hey guys, so a lot of times we will come across a video, someone is encouraging us, saying that the Holy Spirit is saying that when we receive our blessings or breakthrough, our partners, right, whether you are getting married, you are getting a house, a car, some sort of blessing from the Lord, to not forget God. And sometimes they will say, do not idolize the blessing, right? And it is so true. Because sometimes we may say, oh, I'm not gonna forget God, I'm not gonna this, I'm not gonna that, because when you don't have something, you will say, oh, I'm not gonna do and I'm not gonna do, right? But the reality is, if we are not vigilant, if we are not careful, we can fall victim. The Holy Spirit gave me this example. When you look at Adam, right? Adam did not have a wife, right? And he was good and okay and da da da. The Lord saw that it was not good for man to be alone, right? And he gave him a partner, a woman, right? Put him to sleep and he got Eve, right? What happened after Adam got Eve? We saw in Genesis 3 where she was tempted by the serpent and she disobeyed God. And what did she do? She also gave the apple or the fruit to Adam, right? What did Adam do? Adam was given an instruction by God to not eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil and the tree of life. You could eat from any other tree except those two. He allowed this blessing, which was Eve, to give him a fruit. What happened there? He started to make Eve an idol. So he obeyed Eve over God's instruction. So we have to be very careful how we allow the blessings that we get to become idols. We start worshiping them. We start to forget about God, focusing on them more than God. We may say, oh, I'm not going to fall victim, but remember, the enemy is like a roaring lion seeking who he may devour. And don't get it twisted. Remember, we are human beings and we are wrestling with our flesh. Each day, the Bible tells us that the spirit wars against the flesh and the flesh wars against the spirit. So you can say, oh, I'm not going to fall victim. But it's not about falling victim. It's about keeping your mind focused on God. Remember that God is the source. Everything else is a resource. So we should not forget that God should be at the forefront. There should be nothing that can come close to God, to that elevation, that respect that you have for God. God should be here and everything else down here, because God is all powerful, almighty. He's the everlasting Father. He's the mighty God, the omnipotent, the omnipresent, the omniscient God, the I am that I am, the Alpha, the Omega. He's the almighty God. So we should keep our eyes focused on Jesus, because look here, if you're not focusing on Jesus, you will be deceived and you will fall victim. So be blessed today and be encouraged in the Lord. Be blessed today.